Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and we're back, baby. Been a little bit all over the place this year just from a lot of different things going on, but I think in my last video I did talk about that I was getting married, and we've done that. We did that last week. Here's a picture for now. We're gonna wait for the professional pictures and everything like that. My hair is doing so yesterday, not to get completely off topic immediately, but yesterday I got my hair cut, which was so nice because it really needed it. And she had done like this really nice like blowout look on it. It was so like 90s chic, but I slept on it and now it's whatever this is. But anyway, yeah, so we did that. We stayed in Dallas for the week, so we got back on Sunday. Kind of just been chilling out this week, refreshing, just hanging out, not reading much, which I mean isn't entirely true. I've been reading a lot of webtoons this week. I don't know, like every once in a while I go down a rabbit hole of reading some webtoons and then don't for a while, and I think it's primarily because I do use the webtoon app. And then like after you reach a certain point, if there are newer chapters, you have to pay if you want to see them early, or you have to wait. And I don't want to pay, so I wait and then I forget. And then I just delete the app because I'm like, oh, what was I doing? But I was just reading some webtoons, having a good little time. It was a nice, relaxing reading experience. But basically what I wanted to do with this video is catch up and also build one of my book nooks. I have two. So this one is a garden house that Karen got me for my birthday. And then this one is a magical world that my brother Nolan got me for Christmas. This one says it's a level 4 difficulty. The garden house, it says level 3. So we're gonna do the garden house first, but speaking of Karen, she wants to go to the bookstore. So she's gonna pick me up and we're gonna go to the bookstore. So I'm gonna do that first, and then we'll see how far we get into building our little garden house here. If the other one says it's 4 to 6 hours and this one's 3 stars, hopefully it's less than that. Hopefully, we shall see. I feel like that's like best case scenario, that it's less than 4 hours. But yeah, I'm excited. And it means I'm gonna have to figure out my book situation here. I was hoping, in addition, to be able to unbox the Emily Wilde special editions that I got from Owl Crate, so I was very excited about that. I did decide to just go ahead and get them because I don't have the first book or the third book. The first book I rented from the library. I do own Map of the Other Lands, I think that's right. And then I haven't picked up the third one yet because I saw they were doing this special edition. I was like, well, then I could have like a set, be good, and then I'll have all 3. So I think once those comes in, I'm probably gonna do like a reread of the first 2 and then read the third one and do that as like a nice little vlog and kind of give my full thoughts on the trilogy and how it all went. And they were supposed to, supposedly, according to my email, they were supposed to be delivered today, but I have not seen them. They have not come yet, so that was a little disappointing, not gonna lie. But that's okay, because we're gonna go book shopping, and that'll be great. We're gonna go to 2 bookstores today. Houston is doing its annual like book passport thing, and I think it's for like National Bookstore Day or something of that nature. And so all of the local indie bookstores in Houston are participating. I say all, at least 25, and they have a passport, and as you go to them you can get these stickers and, you know, support local bookstores. I've been to a couple, but there's plenty I haven't been to. I don't know how many of them I'm gonna get to. If you're not familiar with Houston, Houston is ginormous. So when we say like the Houston area, that could be an hour to an hour and a half away from where I live, depending on where it is. So it's big. It's a big metroplex. It is a big city. Like both population-wise and physically, Houston is very, very large. So we'll see if that can happen. In addition to that, I currently am not okay to drive. So I had a bit of an incident a couple of weeks back where I fainted, and so they're just making sure that everything's fine. Everything seems fine, but I just need to get cleared first. So once I get cleared, that will make things a little easier. But at the moment, your girl can't. So I am at the whims of others when it comes to those kind of things. So I'm excited that I get to go to the bookstore with Karen today. And that will be where this update ends for now, because she should be coming soon. And yeah, then we'll get back here. If I get any books, I'll show you what I got, and then we'll work on a book nook and see if we can finish that on a day. If not, we could work on it on Friday too before I post this video, because you know I like to live, you know, fast and furious. So
many hours later.
hello, I'm back. Finally. Not finally. We had an adventure. I have some books. We had a bit more of an adventure than we thought. Had a lovely chat with some booksellers at one of the local bookstores. So there are 25 bookstores listed on here, and they broke them up by areas in Houston. So in the loop means there is like a loop of highways, and that's kind of Houston, downtown Houston, like Houston the city proper. And so if they say it's in the loop, that's where that means. And then they have south, so that is in like Pearland, Galveston. They say south, it's like southeast, southwest, south, yeah, it's a little southeast. So I'm in the north of Houston, so like southeast, going towards the coast, and also going more towards Louisiana is what I would say that area is. We have west, which is going south-southwest, so going towards Sugarland and Katy, and areas beyond that, so going further down into Texas. And then we have two pop-ups, which we don't know if we'll make it to. And then in the north, which, like I said, I'm in the north of Houston, so this can be like Tomball, Spring, the Woodlands, kind of that area going up into Conroe. That's considered like the north. And then we just have one that's in the east, Books by the Bay. And I actually follow them on Instagram, but I don't know if we'll make it down there because they're technically in LaPorte. And so the rules are, so you get your card. So we got our card from one, we went to two bookshops today up here on the north side of Houston. So you start visiting them and we get stamps and stickers, etc. And when you have at least 10 stamps, you are eligible to be entered into the raffle and turn your card into the closest bookstore to you. And for each additional store visited, you will earn an additional entry into the raffle. And cards must be turned in by April 30th at the end of business day. And yeah, so a fun little situation here. So we may try to hit up a couple more tomorrow up here on the north side, and then possibly this weekend try to hit some that are like in the loop or something like that. But fun. Went to a new bookstore today and then went to my usual bookstore. So I got a new book here. I'm a little concerned because I do think this is technically considered romantasy. It is a standalone. It does seem to have Chinese influences, like Chinese mythical fantasy influences, which I'm always a big fan of. It's called Immortal, and it's by Sulin Tan, who I believe, the one that I've seen most people talk about is Daughter of the Moon Goddess of hers. So I picked this one up. It sounds like it's up my alley, but at the same time here, just for the little blurb at the top. It says, a breathtaking standalone romantic fantasy filled with dangerous secrets, forbidden magic, and passion about a young ruler who fights to protect her kingdom. I do like the beginning. It does give like a fairly long synopsis of this book and like kind of what puts her in the situation she's in. The only thing I'm concerned about is obviously the romance part, but we're gonna give it a try. I had a good amount of credits at this bookstore because this is the bookstore where I turn in my used books, and so I brought some of my romantasy books that I did not want and used store credits. So I got this brand new hardback for half the price, which is great. In addition, we went to a new bookstore for me that is also close in our area, and they are more of like your traditional used bookstore. I would say they have less. So like the bookstore that we usually go to, they do buy used and they have a large used section, but they also do carry a lot of like the up and coming books. Whereas I feel like this one does not. It's more of a used book, like a used bookstore that I'm used to. And like has like some of the classic like sci-fi, fantasy, horror books that the bookstore that I used to work at and went to for a very long time when I was growing up would carry. So it felt very familiar to me, if you will. But I did get some used books from there, which I was exciting. I like spent 20 bucks. I had cash, so that was nice. So they just let me, it was a solid 20 bucks. And I picked up some books that I'd been meaning to read and was happy to support a local business. So I got Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. She a Chunky Girl. I also got The Interview with a Vampire, Anne Rice. I do love like this really old style cover that I feel like you don't see as much anymore. Super fun. I wonder when this one was printed. Oh wow. This was blurbed by the Houston Chronicle. How fun. That's really fun. Let's see, when was this one printed? I think 1988 perhaps this one was printed, which is pretty cool. They had, I wanted to pick up a Stephen King. They had a Salem's Lot and a Carrie, but they were definitely older editions, and so they were a little, they cost more than like if I had bought it like on Tango or something like that, and I just never really delved into Stephen King, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend, it wasn't a lot. It was like 18 for Carrie and 12 for Salem's Lot, but I just wasn't sure that I wanted to pay that much for those books. And then also, I know that these, all of three of these books were books that I had on my list for my Whistle Down Wishes series, which again, I said I was going to be pausing just because I'm trying to be easier on myself at the moment. But I also picked up the other Bronte sisters. So I got Wuthering Heights, which I've never read as well. Wow, this font is tiny. Lord Almighty, get a magnifying glass for Wuthering Heights. So those are the 4 books I picked up today, which I thought was a fun, good day. Spent like 35, I think total, 38, something like that. Something like that. So we have those. I'm excited. I want like, I was like trying to think if I had something I could carry this in because it's very flimsy. So maybe I'll try to find something I can carry it in. But I don't know how much time we are gonna have to really work on our book nook today, because it is already a little later than I thought it was going to be. But we have it. And so we'll just take a look. Because the other problem is like if I leave it, I don't want to leave it in a place where punkies can mess with it. This is like the diorama of it. You see that better? No, it's so bright. And it's like that laminated paper. Okay, we got all the parts lists. is day 2 of building this book nook. We're getting somewhere. Hold on. Stick. So we've got this whole part currently made. And then I'm working on this little shelf at the moment. I am supposed to be going on some more bookstore tours in a little bit. So I thought I would check in. I got like something, I don't know if it's like something in my eyelash, I don't know. But thought I would check in on that. I need to charge my battery. So yeah, I've been working on this. I think we'll keep working on that, and then we're gonna build a lamp. Just little bits and bobs. And then, I don't know, there's still so many pieces left. So really have no idea how much more I have to go. But it's starting to look like something, and that's something. So, yeah, not sure how much longer I shall be here, waiting for Karen to find a good place. Oh no, oh, that's what I get for messing with something. Oh Lord. Everything is very precarious. Let me just say. Everything is very precarious here. If I can finish this little shelf before Karen comes, and then we will check in with some bookstore stuff in a bit. It's been a couple days since I've checked in with you. It is Monday, August 14th, and I had basically like the glue on this thing does not dry fast. And so even though they're like 3 hours, it's like, yeah, but you have to basically like let it chill. Otherwise, stuff is just gonna be falling all over the damn place. So I haven't been filming as much of me building it because some of these things have been entirely too frustrating. But today I have to flip it over because even if lifting this up, like, they're like, it's just gonna sit real nice in here. And I'm like, says who? Says who, little people? Who made this? It's a lot of trial and error. And yeah, so it is moving. We are near the end. So like these are like the, you know, greenhouse siding. And so that is what I am putting up today. Oh, I forgot my books. I will go get them at some point in time. But Karen and I went to 2 more bookstores on Friday. We went to 2 used bookstores. One of them was like old school used bookstore. And like there were no like new novels there. It was all used. And I actually finally found a reasonably priced used copy of Guilty Pleasures by Laurel K. Hamilton, which I've been looking for a long time because I wanted to kind of take some inspo from Gavin from Gavin Reads It All. He has done a couple of those first and last in a series. Now, I don't know if Laurel K. Hamilton is done with the Anita Blake now. It looks like the current, excuse me, the current Anita Blake series book that's out, Slay, is the most recent. And from what I read on the back of the book, spoilers if you are like not caught up with the series, I'm not, but that was fine. I wasn't intending on being completely caught up. Anita and Jean-Claude are getting married. That was a weird sound. Anita and Jean-Claude are getting married. And I thought that was really interesting. I just like picked it up and was like, huh, I wonder what's going on with Anita Blake. Haven't checked in with her in a long time. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do a first and last for the Anita Blake series? Because there's like 29 books in the series. And I absolutely loved this series when I originally picked it up. It was like the first vampire novel I picked up after reading Twilight. I know, kind of a jump for type of literature I was reading, but I really loved them early on in high school. But they just got a little too smutty for me at the time, and so I ended up putting them down probably around the 8th or 9th book and never picked them back up. But I thought it'd be fun to reread Guilty Pleasures and also read the final book in the series and just kind of see how far some of the characters have come. I know there will be a lot of characters that I don't know, but because Jean-Claude and Anita are both characters that are introduced in the first book, I felt like it would still be fun to go ahead and read both of them. But I was having a hard time finding a reasonably priced Guilty Pleasures, because on Pango there was a lot of them that were reasonably priced, but the shipping and handling upped the price so much that it really wasn't worth the dollar that I would pay for it, because I would still be paying like upwards to $6, $7, $8 for the book, and I was like, I'm just not going to do that. So I did get one for like $3.75, $3.79 I think to be exact. And I also got a Diana Quincy book, which I've been interested in reading her, because Jenny from This Story Ain't Over always recommends her novels. They have usually a Palestinian female main character, and it's like Regency based, and so I thought that was really fun. And I've been looking for her novels, but haven't seen them in the library, couldn't find them in a lot of the used bookstores I'd previously been to, and I found one. So I did pick up one of those as well, but I will grab them. They're downstairs at some point. But yes, so today I am going to attempt to put the siding up on this book nook and hopefully finish it today, because really like it's now just siding for the most part. Oh, also I've been reading a book. Who is she? Is this the book channel? So I've been reading a book that I picked up. I think I shared it with you earlier on in this vlog, which was supposed to be a couple days, and now this is going to go up on Friday of this week. So I missed another week, but I think it's worth it because I think it'll be a better video overall. But I started reading Immortal by Sulin Tan, I believe, yeah. And I'm over 75% of the way through the book. I will say, now that lots of things have been revealed, it like fills in some of the qualms I had with the romance at the beginning of the book. That I was like, ugh, this is really the trope that I hate. I really don't like the insta love, especially with fantasy and things like that. I think it's annoying. Give me a reason. And the spunky, I don't know, I'm kind of tired of the like spunky yet kind of incompetent character in a lot of ways, yet somewhat competent, but just really doesn't use their brain all that much. Character really bothers me. I feel like it's been overdone. So I was a little annoyed with that, but I do think that the author did fill in the blanks well, to where that's not bothering me so much. What my biggest hang up on this book is the writing. I think that this book would have been better served with stronger editing, because to me, I feel like there is this situation where the author has already written a sentence that describes the feeling the character's having without describing the feeling the character's having, if that makes sense. Like the action, the initial thought, the initial dialogue tells me enough that I can infer the conflict inside this character, that I don't need you to add, and it happens like so much. There's an additional comma and we add like this little partial sentence, this fragment at the end of this sentence, and it literally is just like telling you what the character's feeling inside, and I just think it's unnecessary. We probably could have cut out like at least 50 pages of this novel by just doing some serious editing. That is my biggest qualm with this book, and I do think right now it's probably sitting at a 3-star, because I do like how, like I said, the plot is tying in, and some of the things in the beginning I didn't like. I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that I stuck it through at least to see like what you were doing and what you were setting up. I can appreciate that, but it's the writing. I don't think I'll pick another book up from this author if that's how these all read, because I was getting very frustrated. But before I go ahead and find a YouTube video, I just wanted to show you what we're looking at here. So as you can see, like we're pretty actively ready to like get these sightings up and everything like that. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna find a YouTube video. I'll check back in with you in a little bit. Hello. It is Wednesday. I was gonna say August. April 16th. And I think I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. As you would have seen, we finished the book nook. It's there. You can't tell I broke it, so that's a plus. Also finished, I think we didn't talk about this. I think I finished this after we were talking about it, but I finished Immortal by Sulin Tung. And I, on Storygraph, gave it 2.5, but I am contemplating if I want to change that rating to something lower, to be honest. The writing just really did not jive with me, did not enjoy it. As I mentioned previously, I think this book would have really done with some good editing to shorten down the sentences and just give a more succinct story, but here we are. So this will probably go up on my Pango if you want to grab it. There were plenty of girlies who absolutely loved it. I was just not one of them. Her writing style is not for me. But we did do four bookstores today. So we are currently at 8 bookstores, which means we only need 2 more to enter the raffle that they're doing for the Houston book crawl. I know we talked about these previously. So here's our copy of Guilty Pleasures. And let me take out just my book crawl thing. My book crawl page at the moment. It's hard to see, but here it is. So we've got that. I needed a sticker from Good on Paper. Good on Paper. Diana Quincy book that I picked up from Copperfield Books and Octavia E. Butler. So I picked up Fledgling. I've been in a vampire mood, so I am excited to get this one. Also, I did pick this up from Kindred Stories, which is a Black-owned bookstore in the Houston area. So they also highlight a lot of Black authors and Black artists. So I thought, why not get Octavia Butler from them? So we have Fledgling. And then I also got adorable little bookmark that looks like their little bookshop here. You're probably not gonna be able to see it very well because it's dark outside, but it's super cute. So that is our haul from the book crawl thus far. But for now, I said I was gonna wrap this video up, and so that's what I'm gonna do. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your patience. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and let's leave like something with gardening for our little greenhouse book nook that we created in this video. I don't know, flowers, shovel, watering pail, something like that in the comments. And if you want to stick around for more Bookish Enders content, I upload on Fridays, hopefully more consistently. And until next time, I hope you read a good book. I hope you find some joy, and most importantly, I hope you do something to make the world a better place. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!